guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. We are now part 4 in the No Gamepass Japantown. So for today's video, we will be making a small tea house. Again, this is a No Gamepass town, so if you have no Gamepass and you want to build your own small Japanese town, then this series is for you. Originally, this was supposed to be the sushi restaurant, but since we made the ramen and sushi restaurant combo from our last video, this will be the traditional tea houses you would go to. So we have a good amount of space here to work with. And I'm just going to use a 6x4 square tea house and make the outside simple. We will make the traditional wall with wooden pillars, and I'm gonna recolor the pillar brown before duplicating it to save a bit of money. Now for the corners, I will be using the thick square pillar, so I would be changing the corner ones. Then add the wall and color this first before duplicating the wall to save money as well. This is what I mentioned earlier, that I would be using the thick pillars for the corner side because the thin pillar was barely seen on corners. Since I can't add the pillars with the walls placed, I had to delete the end walls, but it is alright since it is just 2 walls. Add pillars on all the sides as well, leaving a 1 square gap for wall placement. Do the same in front, except we will leave the middle part for a double door. And for the entrance door, I was going to use this framed sliding double door, but it wouldn't fit this wall. I want a glass double door, but I don't want to use the French door. So I will just use this plain double door, and I'm going to leave this door open so the tea house would look more airy inside. I also added a horizontal window above the door for more ventilation. Now for the roof, we will be using the flared mansard roof, and you can adjust the height and curvedness to your liking. For the texture, I will be using the roof tiles again, just like from the ramen sushi restaurant. But I will color this roof to green instead of black. And then added another layer of flat roof for a bit of extension. I moved the crosswalk sign a bit to the right so the view from the tea house wouldn't be blocked out. Then I added this robust crown molding on all sides of the tea house. Make sure to color it wooden brown. For the windows, I will be using this industrial window, and make sure to use the same wooden frame to match the door. I'm placing the windows in between the pillars, but for the side walls, I would leave the middle wall empty for picture frames later. I also left 2 walls empty on the back wall. Then copy the crown molding we have from outside and add it on all the walls inside. Then we will add another layer of molding using this short rail molding. And we will color the line the same wooden brown as the door frame. As for the rest of the molding, use the broken tiles to look like a square thin wood. Since there is a plain empty wall when you look outside, it looks a bit awkward being empty, so we will add this thin pillars to cover a bit and do this on the other side as well. Now we will delete the flooring around the tea house and just leave the front for the sidewalk. We will fence out the sides using this tall wooden fence. Use delete undo technique when you can't place the fence because of the corner pillar. We will be adding a few landscaping in front, and as much as I want to add a large tree, it looks stuffed up, so we will just use the cypress tree that we have and place it on the corner side. If you can't place the tree because of the roof, just toggle the roof or press U on keyboard if you're on PC or laptop. I'm gonna add this wooden mat by the entrance door, because we will be leaving our slippers or flip-flops outside before entering. The front still looks empty, so I'm just gonna add this flowery bush on both sides. Just use delete undo technique when placing close to each other. And I saw this bird feeder, so let's also add this on the side. Since we used the long lantern from the restaurant, I'm gonna use this circular lantern for the tea house. And just adjust the lighting color so it wouldn't be too bright. Just finishing off the landscaping on the back side since we cannot leave this empty. I'm also gonna add water to make a small pond even though we only have a small view from inside. Do this on the other side as well. I added some floral lily pad on the pond to look more cute, hee. Now let's go inside, and we will copy the short rail molding and place it on all the sides. For the flooring, we will be doing a tatami mat, but since we cannot resize any carpets or mats, I'm going to make the whole flooring a wicker texture. Just make sure to color this cashmere to look light yellow. And to look like it is an assembled tatami mat, we will use the plain fence marking and color this wooden brown. We will make a pattern with 1 square and 2 square long alternating pathways. Now I think that looks better. It looks clean and I like it, so let's leave it that way. Anyways, for the table, we would be needing a lower table, so we will use the primal console table. And I'm just measuring up the spacing for the layout of the tea house. But let's do the small prepping counters on the left corner side. I'm going to use this shaker open counter since I would add a microwave below. But I noticed that when I place down a sink, it reveals the top part of the microwave. But I will just leave that be and not mind the spot being seen. I'm coloring the appliances to dark stone gray with metal texture. I love how this looks on appliances. And even though it is a traditional tea house, I have to add a fridge and microwave oven because we are in the modern era today, hee. I also added this display case for the desserts we serve at the tea house. And I'm adding this tray here in the middle where the staff prepares the orders. I'm gonna add this cute plant, which is one of my favorites. And let's also add some napkins on the side. This small mug definitely fits the tea mugs being used. And I'm just gonna add some jars on the side. So these jars are the tea leaves that we serve. Make sure to change the texture so it would look like tea leaves, hee. We also have a jar of sugar on the corner. I was looking for teapots when I realized we do not have any in-game. So I searched up some vases, and this round large vase looks a bit like a teapot, but it doesn't have a handle. So I'm going to change this later. Save your money and disregard this vase that I am adding because I will delete the pretend vase pot later. I also added a storage shelf on the back wall, and since I couldn't fit the oak shelf, I used this ladder shelf. I'm just gonna add some clutters since we do not have a lot of prepping areas. I also added an overhead cabinet above the fridge so it wouldn't have an empty space. Now let's do the tables and sitting area. And this is going to depend on what you like. You can just use pillows and use transform tool for free to adjust the angle of the pillow as cushion for sitting. But if you want to have the customers to really sit down, we will use this simple ottoman and just change this to look like it is wooden. Again, this is just on my creation, but you can use a different texture and make it soft cushion like a pillow. So feel free to adjust the texture to your own liking. I'm gonna add some floor plants on the corner side of the wall. And I'm gonna make the vase texture to marble. For the other corner, we will use this small potted pilea plant. I like how cute this looks. I also added the plants on the other corners. And for the empty wall, we will hang this modern tall painting. Now going back to the tables, I'm going to make this console table a square one, so we will add another table. Use the delete undo technique to merge the two tables, and it would look like a large square table. Now this can accommodate large groups of customers, which is perfect for families and friends. We can add another table on the back corner. So 3 tables for a group of 8, and the total customers that this tea house can serve is 24 all at the same time. The middle part looks a bit empty, so I'm just gonna add an end table beside the counter for like the chopsticks and other clutter, more like essentials for dining customers. And I moved this grater to make space for this thermos. Let's pretend that this is a pot of tea brewing. I'm going to copy the lanterns outside and add a few inside as well. I adjusted the placement of the lanterns in front of the pillar. It still looks dark, so I'm adding this traditional fan in the middle to serve as lighting and ventilation as well. I changed the lighting color to a yellow light shade to give this tea house a warm tone. And it still looks a bit dim, so I'm going to add the sleek ceiling light, but use flint color on the bulb so it would just add a slight difference. I'm adding that to the corners. And the middle part looks dimmer, so I will add a ceiling light with a lighter shade. I think that looks better. I left the entrance door open and grabbed a few desserts that we will be placing on the table. So let's use this small cutting board as a dessert tray. And we will place down 2 of this dango or the glutinous rice, and since we do not have a lot of Japanese desserts, I just added a pretend dessert on the side, hee. You can add your own dessert tray of choice. I copied the dessert tray we made, and this time we will make our custom Japanese dessert using this toy yo-yo, and we will recolor this to look like a mochi ball. So just fill this tray with different textures or colors that you like. I'm just gonna add this tray on all the tables since this is what the tea house will be serving the guests. I changed the decals and just searched up from the free images, and we will change the background color to brown. I also copied the folding menu board from the restaurant and just searched up on the free images. Let's add a few slippers by the entrance door. Now we will be making our own teapots because we do not have any in-game. Please Bloxburg devs, can we have a teapot set? Anyways, we just need this electric kettle, a small cutting board, and this decorative jar. We will use delete undo technique to place both the kettle and jar in the middle of the board. Now recolor both to match and look like it is a teapot. Sadly, we cannot change the texture of the jar, so I'll stick with this sage green. I mean, this teapot doesn't have a spout, but this is how close we can go. We have a handle and a cute lid pot, so let's just pretend it is since this is usable when you click the handle. So I deleted the vase pot we added earlier and placed down the new teapot we made. We are adding this on all tables and yeah, we are done. So this is the end product of our tea house. And I think this costed around $40,000. So the total plot value right now is $211,950, and again, this is a no Game Pass town. So if you do not have any Game Pass and you want to build a small Japanese town, then this is for you. Our tea house is across the convenience store and right next to the ramen and sushi restaurant. So this is the front of the tea house, and if you go to the sides, you can see this small pond we added. We also have one over here, and that's why I closed it off with a fence, because this area over here is a family house. So this front area, I just copied the folding board from the restaurant, and we have here some slippers outside since we cannot wear any shoes or slippers when going inside. I love how the tatami mats look like, even though it is just whole flooring with fence markings. And we have here some wooden ottomans, and each table can accommodate 8 persons. So this is perfect for families or a group of friends hanging out. The custom teapot we made is actually usable, so you can really get your own tea. And I love how the Japanese desserts we custom made also look like. Although we have a dango that we can make, I hope we can also get more Asian food or snacks for future updates. Anyways, I'm gonna try and get some tea here, but my avatar stands up when getting a tea. So maybe if there is a teapot on future updates, we can roleplay with it. And this is the front counter. We have some famous desserts that are on display here. I added this strawberry cake since it is a famous cake in Japan. The staff will be preparing the tea and teacups over here. So we have quite a small space to work with, but that's all right. I also added a thermos where you can get a black tea or special hot drink. The sink is still usable even though a part of the microwave is peeking, hee. Let's just pretend that it isn't poking out. So yeah. This is our small traditional tea house that you would probably visit when you go to Japan. Anyways, that is the part 4 of our small Japanese no Game Pass town. Thank you guys for watching. I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach 10,000 subs before 2024 ends. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Love you guys. All the build information will be in the description box. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next video.